Hey, everybody, welcome to Locked On Lakers on YouTube. Brian Kamenetzky, Andy Kamenetzky. More rumors flying around on Friday. Broderick Turner of the Los Angeles Times talking about two of the premier free agents on the market. Writes first about Kyle Lowry. Though the Lakers didn't acquire Lowry at the deadline, he remains interested in joining the Lakers. And then DeMar DeRozan. DeRozan has interest in returning home to play for the Lakers, even for less than the $27.7 million he earned last season. Both of those again from BT and USC, Andy.
That is true.
First things first, I'm glad DeRozan would be willing to take less than the $27.7 million. He'd have to come back and play for the Lakers under any circumstances.
Yes,
most
he
likely. Let's start really quickly with the Lowry part of it. It made sense last year to have him if you could get him as a free agent or in a sign and trade. Setting aside the complications of all of that, he certainly would be a natural fit despite a little bit of an injury risk.
He is a no-brainer. If you could bring in Kyle Lowry, he is an absolute no-brainer. He's a very easy fit. He addresses some of the needs the Lakers have. He's championship tested, locker room guy, all that stuff.
I think you make sure you have a couple good guard options to keep him fresh, healthy as possible during the regular season, and then you can bump up his minutes down the stretch and in the playoffs. I think that would be the formula. Lowry's already 35 years old. The DeRozan part is, I think, interesting. We spent Friday's show, Andy, talking about the Russell Westbrook to LA rumors and conversations that were reported by Marc of the Undefeated at ESPN. Both of us think it's a terrible idea because Westbrook's a terrible fit. One of the reasons is because Russ doesn't shoot the ball well. DeRozan is actually a worse three-point shooter than Westbrook, if that seems possible. And it is. He really is. Both of us think, though, that DeRozan makes much more sense for the Lakers and will be a much better fit. Why?
Because he's a much more efficient scorer overall. Like, he is a much better fit in terms of just creating efficient offense. He is a lower usage player. Like, he is much easier to try to fit into, a hierarchy where he's going to be behind LeBron and AD, not just in talent, but just in terms of the overall scheme. To put it in perspective, Russell Westbrook, 30.2 usage rate last year, which is his lowest since his second season. DeMar DeRozan, 26.1. He's only had one season in his entire career above 30. So it just goes to show that he's been a very, very good scorer over the course of his career without necessarily needing the ball at the same rate that Westbrook does, or frankly, LeBron does. But then also, Brian, if you start getting into what makes DeMar DeRozan a better, more efficient scorer than Westbrook, beyond the fact that, neither one of them can shoot from outside, you start looking at the mid-range area. Last season, DeMar DeRozan, 46% from 10 to 16 feet, 48% from 16 all the way up to the three-point line. Westbrook, 38% in both of those spots. That speaks to a very wide discrepancy overall for these guys when it comes to just shooting in the mid-range and their overall efficiency.
One more thing I'll throw in there for you on behalf of DeRozan is free throw shooting, because DeRozan is an excellent free throw shooter, shot 88% last year, hasn't been under 80% since his rookie season from the free throw line, gets there over 7 times a game, sometimes in his career over 8. So he gets to the line, and Westbrook, who started off his career as a good free throw shooter, has really tailed off over the last few seasons.
People have theorized it's because they made him shoot from a different spot on the court, and I think have to do with his ritual and all that stuff.
Whatever it is, Russ doesn't get to the line as often, and when he gets there, he doesn't hit threes or doesn't hit free throws with the same percentage as DeRozan. So yes, while DeMar DeRozan would create some spacing issues for the Lakers, there's no question about it. He is not a perfect fit. He's also a guy who has very quietly increased his assist rate, become an excellent distributor. You could have him leading the second unit, playing essentially a point guard role there. So it solves a lot of problems in that way. It doesn't solve every problem for them, but I agree with you. I think DeRozan would be a great fit here if you could make it happen. The how, big deal. There's a lot going on there. We've talked at length about how difficult it is for the Lakers to do sign and trade deals. Obviously, if they were just going to sign him outright, they can offer him $5.9 million a year for however long he wants it. The mechanics of it are difficult, but the fit, if you're just looking at shooting, isn't great. But if you're looking at everything else, DeMar DeRozan makes much
if
more
nothing
sense
else,
than Westbrook.
if I was going to say, if nothing else, I wouldn't go so far as to say the fit is necessarily great, but it can be very good, and it is without question better than Westbrook, even though the two of them are inevitably going to be compared to each other.
Yeah, and for me, DeRozan's just one of those guys who's sort of become defined by the thing he doesn't do well, and people are ignoring how good he is at other stuff. So a lot of things to consider for the Lakers as free agency starts to get here about a week and a half or so before contracts can officially be signed, although I'm sure the tampering, as I look at my watch, is happening right now.
Right now, it's been going on for months, man.
That's true. So stay tuned to Locked On Lakers on YouTube.
That you think it just started.
Stay tuned to Locked On Lakers on YouTube for all the news as it comes out, responding to rumors, talking about fit, all that stuff. That's what we'll be doing here, and we'll see everybody next time.